Emily Bowe has been blind since birth. She is an 8th grader at South Valley Junior High and likes writing in her free time. She's even NJHS Council President, and besides playing the piano, also plays the flute and the clarinet. Emily has 2 younger sisters and loving parents who treat all 3 of them equally. This is Emily's story.
When I was little, according to my mom, I used to have parents who wouldn't let their kids talk to me, and they would pull their kids away from me really fast, like I had leprosy or something. But I've always found I have put myself in a position, I guess, where people are generally open to me because they know that I'm no different than they are. I just can't see things. But I was born with the optic nerve, which connects my eyes to my brain, basically, either very small or non-existent, to the point where I couldn't see.
Blindness is there's many different ways to define blindness. There's perfect vision or good vision is correctable to 20/20 with glasses or contact lenses. But if you're legally blind, which is not a functional definition, it's a legal definition, meaning you're entitled to services, that's 2200 or worse in the better seeing eye with your best glasses, or a visual field of less than 20 degrees in your better eye. But then there's also total blindness, would be no light perception, and there's a big variation in the middle. You can be anywhere from 2200 to 22,000. Some people only see light, some people can see hand motion. Most people who are visually impaired, though, or have some form vision, and they'd be most people are between 2020 and 2400. Usually it can be genetic, it can just happen. There's a lot of people with congenital optic atrophy. It runs in families. It can be a dominant gene, a recessive gene. Sometimes you don't even know why the person has a smaller than optic nerve. And then your vision can range from 20/20 to no light perception, depending on how severe it is. But it also could have just been something happened while she was developing that affected her eyes.
There was a lot going on at that time, so it didn't really set in when we first found out, but it was kind of shocking, and we were worried at the same time, but there was no major life is going to end or anything like that. We just wanted to get her home. We were very blessed to get good specialists to come in and teach us kind of what was offered for her, and what we could do and get started that way.
So some people don't need to go to schools for the blind. Most schools have vision resource teachers who will help students in the classroom make sure they're using their low vision aids correctly, or getting what they need to see the board or use their computer. However, if you're significantly visually impaired, I think it is a good idea to go to a school where you learn the different tricks, techniques, etc. for visually impaired. But I also think these students need to be mainstream so that they're around other students and other people like themselves. So I think, yes, they can do that, but I don't think that's the only solution. I think they need to be actually mainstreamed for the most part.
We thought about that at first, and we discussed it with her, and it was something that we really didn't want, because they really teach, not all of them, but some, that it's a handicap and you can't do these things, you can't do that, and we didn't want to treat her any differently. So we kept her in private school or public schools and in mainstream schools. My main concern is if somebody were to try to take advantage of her, One, because she's a female, but two, because she's blind. So it makes her an easier target. At first, we were worried, about various things, and but I think not only has Emily grown and matured with the condition she has, but we've also grown and matured with her, and so it's just been a kind of a gradual process of letting her do her own thing and giving her the room that she wants to work with it.
I'm a low vision specialist, so if a person came in here that had absolutely no light perception, and that happens, or extremely poor vision, where they have no form vision and can't use low vision aids, I refer them out for blindness services. And that is, they're going to start using products like a computer with speech. They can get jobs with computer with speech. We have a lot of patients that are totally blind using computers for work, and the computers will read for you and talk to you. We also have them be trained to use a white cane so that they're safe getting around. And we mark their appliances and things in their home so that they're safe. So there's a lot of tools for a person who's totally blind, but it takes training to use them. If you want to say cook on the stove and you can't, you don't know where the where 350 degrees is, you can mark it with like a stick-on dot that you feel. You can also put braille on things so the person can read, like say a can of soup. It can be brailled and stuck on the product so that they can feel what it is. There's also now OCR readers. It's even in a cell phone. You can turn on the reader, have it snap a picture of whatever you want to do. It'll read to you what it is. So you could say go to the pantry and get a can of canned goods or whatever you want to read. Take a picture and it'll read for you. So if you're totally blind, that's a really nice device to have.
We feel more sadness for them because they're narrow-minded and they label her very quickly, but anybody that gets to know her realizes how wonderful and talented and how special she is. And more, we feel angry at other people because if they have children that have the same things as Emily, because they don't allow their children that growth and that potential for the future. They limit them a lot.
Emily has learned to work around her blindness and still do what she enjoys doing.
I can read Braille music. But I can just listen across to people who are playing the same part as me, and I know what notes to play because I can hear a note and I can tell you what the pitch is. And if you mean like pressing the keys and stuff directly, it's all become muscle memory because that's the way it is for even sighted musicians on their instruments. If you tell them to play a note, they can because it's muscle memory. Hey Emily, hey Lauren. How's it going? It's going good. How are you? I'm good, thanks. Alright, ready? Yep. Okay. Oops.
Emily is perfectly capable of navigating her own home. She has the freedom to do her own activities. Instead of looking down, look up.